Part 26. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 251. Chu Wei frowned, the other party's tone was already very impolite. Haha, Momo, you just came to the academy from your hometown, and you don't know what excellence is. Speaking of excellence, only people like Sushi can be called excellent. As for this Chu Wei, just like your brother Su Peng said, he stepped on dog shit. Su Ming on the other side also stood on Su Peng's side. Besides, I also heard that this Chu Wei is very courageous. He actually beat Bai Yu in public yesterday. You know, Bai Yu's brother Bai Xing is also a person on the same level as Sushi in the previous two classes. This kid doesn't know that he has caused trouble, so he wants to join my Su clan for protection, right? Su Peng looked at Chu Wei with disdain. For someone who is obviously here to seek protection, why is he still pretending to be the first freshman? In fact, among the seniors of our previous two classes, the so-called first freshman is garbage. Su Momo blushed. He didn't expect that the purpose of bringing Chu Wei here was actually seen through by Su Peng. She didn't tell Chu Weiming because she knew Chu Wei was proud and was afraid that he would not join. Sure enough, Chu Wei stood up and said lightly, "So you think I joined Suman because I was afraid of that so-called brother of Bai Yu? Or else?" Su Peng sneered. Chu Wei sneered. He came here just because he couldn't refuse Su Momo. But Su Peng definitely didn't believe it. He didn't bother to explain and said directly, "I can only tell you that I, Chu Wei, am not afraid of anyone. If Bai Yu's brother wants to stand up for him, just look at how swollen his face is." Heh. Two disdainful voices were heard at the scene. Su Peng didn't expect that Chu Wei was not only arrogant, but also that he, a freshman, dared to say such words. Didn't he know that Bai Xing had already entered the realm of awakeners? And Chu Wei, even if he could defeat Bai Yu, would only be a level 6 or 7 superpower. Such strength might be able to dominate the freshmen of this year. But when he met them, he was just a kid. Let alone someone of Bai Xing's level, even Su Peng is now a level 9 supernatural being. If he wants, it's just a matter of fighting Chu Wei. On the other side, Su Ming looked at Chu Wei and shook his head in disdain. Sure enough, every freshman is the same. When they first come in, they think they are amazing. However, such newcomers always have to be educated before they know what it means to be low-key. Even Su Momo, who is closest to Chu Wei, didn't expect that Chu Wei would say such arrogant words. A few days ago, when I was in the freshman reception room, I saw Chu Wei for the first time and he was still so quiet. But now he couldn't think too much. Su Momo immediately stood up and said, "Brother Su Peng, Chu Wei has offended Bai Xing, but can't you let him join for my sake? The Su family doesn't want such a boastful person. If it weren't for your sake, I would have thrown Chu Wei out today. How can he brag here? You dare?" Su Momo stood in front of Chu Wei, as if he was afraid that Su Peng would attack Chu Wei. Su Peng was stunned. He didn't expect that Su Momo, who had always been treated as a treasure by the family, would protect a boy so much. He was even more jealous at the moment. Pointing at Chu Wei, he said, "Chu Wei, as a senior, I tell you, you'd better be careful when you speak in this Imperial Capital Academy. You might be beaten and can't get up one day, and you don't know what's going on." Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 252. Haha, Chu Wei said with disdain, "If that's the case, then I, Chu Wei, will also tell you that I, Chu Wei, speak like this. Anyone who doesn't agree can come to me. Also, I tell you, don't point your finger at me and talk nonsense to me anymore, or I will beat you like a happy dog." Su Peng was shocked and angry. A freshman dared to talk to him like this. Chu Wei, Su Peng gritted his teeth, and at the same time, Waves of spiritual energy fluctuations reaching the 9th level of the superpower continued to flow out of his body. I want to put pressure on Chu Wei. He wants to use his strength to tell Chu Wei that he, the first freshman, is nothing in his eyes. However, everyone at the scene was shocked. Almost no one expected that Chu Wei would not react at all when facing Su Peng's spiritual pressure. On the contrary, Chu Wei's face was calm, just like a strong lion watching Su Peng, the hyena, perform poorly there. He didn't treat Su Peng as a human being at all. What is his strength? Is he also a 9th level superpower? Su Peng and others at the scene guessed together. Su Peng and Su Ming, who had always been disdainful, finally showed shock. Generally, only people of the same realm can ignore the pressure brought by each other's spiritual energy. Looking at Su Peng's shocked expression, Chu Wei said lightly, "Don't use these intimidating momentum, it's useless. Want to fight? I'll accompany you at any time, but today, for Sumomo's sake, I won't bother with you. However, you'd better remember, don't talk nonsense in front of me in the future, I keep my word." After Chu Wei finished speaking, he walked out of the room. Only a few people who were still shocked were left. In any case, Sumomo brought him here today with good intentions, and he couldn't make things difficult for Sumomo. Humph. You will definitely regret your performance today, Sumomo said, and ran out with Chu Wei. Only Su Peng and Su Ming were left in the room. However, Su Peng quickly reacted. The reason why he was shocked just now was that he had never expected that Chu Wei actually had the strength of a 9th level superpower. It was too unexpected. But now that he has reacted, what's wrong with a 9th level superpower? He is also a level 9 psychic, and he has been in the academy for 2 years and has learned several martial arts. What can Chu Wei, a freshman, do? Outside the dormitory, Sumomo caught up with Chu Wei. "Chu Wei, I'm sorry, I didn't know my cousins would be like this. I'll call my brother Sushi now and let him talk. I don't think Su Peng will dare to disagree with you joining the Su sect." Chu Wei turned back to stop Sumomo, who was taking the phone, and said, "Thank you, I know you are doing this for my own good, and I, Chu Wei, also recognize you as a friend, but forget about joining the Su sect. After all, your cousins and I have different temperaments, and going in will only make everyone unhappy. I know what you are worried about, isn't it just by seeing? If he dares to come, I will beat him so hard that he can't take care of himself." Chu Wei waved his fist casually. Sumomo looked at Chu Wei, and he found that this boy would give him a different feeling every time. He was so low-key in the freshman reception room. But just now he was so crazy. And his strength has always been a mystery. "Hey," Sumomo sighed, put down the phone, and said, "Since you are so confident, then just treat it as me, Sumomo, meddling in your business." Chu Wei also knew that he had rejected someone's kindness, so he said, "No matter what, I still have to thank Miss Su for taking care of me. I'll treat you to a big meal." "Humph. That's more like it," Sumomo smiled, but then asked curiously, "Chu Wei, what realm are you in?" "You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment." Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 253. Chu Wei's realm has always been a mystery. She originally thought he was a rookie, but Chu Wei's beating of Zhou Hong surprised her. She originally thought Chu Wei was only at the 6th level of the superpower, but Chu Wei's beating of Baiyu surprised her again. And just now, Chu Wei was not afraid of the pressure of Su Peng, a superpower at the 9th level, which surprised her again. It seems that the stronger the enemy of Chu Wei is, the stronger he will perform. "Guess." Chu Wei said lightly. "Guess your head, tell me quickly," Sumomo stretched out her hand and pinched Chu Wei's face, but then immediately felt that this action seemed too intimate. At that moment, she blushed and let go of her hand. Chu Wei didn't think it was a big deal, and said, "I'm a level 9 psychic." "Oh. Then be careful next time you meet Su Peng alone, he's very narrow-minded, and might cause trouble for you. Also, although he's also a level 9 psychic, he's learned a lot of martial arts, and you may not be his opponent yet." Chu Wei smiled faintly. "Again, if he dares to point at me and yell at me again, I'll beat him like a happy dog." After that, Chu Wei didn't say anything more. Chu Wei's dormitory. Just now, Chu Wei took Sumomo to eat a meal, and then returned to his dormitory. As for Shirahoshi and Su Peng, Chu Wei didn't take them to heart. But Chu Wei has always been thinking about getting stronger. Calculating the time, I can enter the 9-story Extreme Tower again today. Entering the universe on the 5th floor of the Extreme Tower, although Chu Wei almost destroyed a steel base on an asteroid in the battle yesterday, there are still so many bases and planets in the distance. Spaceships, various fighter groups. It still fills the entire universe. Chu Wei spread the flying blade wings on his back, holding a white giant sword in his hand, and rushed towards the base on a distant planet. This white giant sword was the one Chu Wei got when he broke the magic seal array in the mutant forest last time. This giant sword is very strange. First of all, its power does not seem to be as great as Chu Wei imagined. Originally, Chu Wei thought that its power could at least match his own self-destruct talisman. But when Chu Wei really used it in actual combat, he found that it was like a second-level weapon in his hand. The power it exerted was only equivalent to a second-level superior weapon. In addition to its hard texture, it seemed to have no special features. However, there was one thing Chu Wei was surprised about, that is, if this giant sword was only a second-level weapon, Chu Wei had misjudged it at the beginning, but when Chu Wei used a third-level super tech spear to attack this giant sword. When the spear and the giant sword collided, the spear broke a gap, but the giant sword was unscathed. Judging from this point, Chu Wei felt that his original judgment was correct. This giant sword should be a 5th-level weapon. Maybe, it was because his realm was too low and he could not exert its power. Chu Wei had to make this conclusion in the end. Chu Wei rushed into the steel base with a giant sword in hand. The base was full of anti-aircraft artillery, fighters, and spaceships constantly sounded battle alarms. Boom! The giant sword in Chu Wei's hand was very hard, and he split the oncoming fighter into two with one sword. In terms of spiritual energy consumption, it is best for Chu Wei to use a second-level weapon now. Because this giant sword is indestructible among second-level weapons. Its power is no less than the flying blade on Chu Wei's wings. Super God system becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiang ZK. Chapter 254. Ding. The host kills the Awakener Realm fighter, and is rewarded with 5 Wisdom Attribute points. The current Wisdom Attribute points are 73 points. It's not bad to use it. Chu Wei looked at the giant sword in his hand. Although he was a little disappointed, there was nothing he could do. He just hoped that after his realm was upgraded, he would have a surprise when he used the sword again. Boom! Boom! The artillery on the ground base launched an attack on Chu Wei, the invader. Instantly, the sky was full of artillery fire. Under such an attack, if there was no super high defense, then death would be inevitable. However, Chu Wei protected himself with his wings in the artillery fire, and then teleported and landed on the ground of the base. Alarm! Alarm! Intruders have been detected in the base. All artillery ready. Just when all the artillery was aimed at Chu Wei pressed his left hand hard on the ground, and a layer of white ice froze all the surrounding artillery mouths. This is Chu Wei's ice ability. Chu Wei raised his hand high again, with strong wind gathering in his hand. The strong wind quickly condensed into a tornado, and Chu Wei waved it. The tornado immediately grew larger, and several fighter planes in the surrounding sky were immediately swept into it, and became fragments in the explosions. Ding! The host kills the Awakener Realm fighter plane and gains 500,000 spiritual energy. Ding! The host gains 6 wisdom attribute points. Ding! The host gains 300,000 spiritual energy. This is the first time Chu Wei uses the ice power and wind power. Its power is greater than the previous fire power and red lightning. Similarly, the spiritual energy consumption will also be more. Afterwards, Chu Wei either creates a sea of fire to submerge the base in the sea of fire, or release red lightning. The red lightning meanders in the air and attacks, hitting the fighter planes in the air and exploding. Sometimes, Chu Wei uses ice to freeze the ground, so that the artillery on the base is directly frozen. In short, Chu Wei practiced the various superpowers and equipment he had recently acquired, while constantly gaining spiritual energy and becoming stronger. When 2 hours were almost over, the steel base on the asteroid had already turned into a city ruin. There were destroyed artillery, fragments of spacecraft, and fragments of fighter planes everywhere in the ruins. And a young man stood on this piece of steel ruins with a giant sword in his hand. He was surrounded by red lightning, with flames and ice in his palms, a pair of wings with 208 flying blades on his back, and wind gathered on his back. The wind blew his hair slightly. He was alone in the ruins, like a destroyer. He was Chu Wei. System, report my latest panel. Ding! The host's latest panel is as follows. Strength, 195 points, the attack power that can be caused is 19,500 kilograms. Physical strength, 140 points, can form a defense against attacks below 14,000 kilograms. Agility, 150 points, 75 attacks per second. Spirit, 15 points. Can clearly feel all movements within 10 meters. Wisdom, 120 points. Note, the host can consume wisdom points to obtain various professional knowledge on his own, and can also use wisdom points to ask questions to the system. Aura value, 1.27 billion/2.048 billion. Current level of superpowers 9. Main attribute points, 26 points. Only 26/100 are needed to upgrade the next version of the system. Host abilities, red lightning, fire, dark water, catalysis, ice, devouring, and gale. Host physique, half dragon. Host skills, spiritual finger gun, absorbing forbidden hand. Host exclusive skills, arm of strength. Blood boiling, teleportation. Host equipment, spiritual coat, super tech spear, flying blade wings, great sword, white. Host consumables, blood recovery pill, 1 self-destruct rune. Host occupation, 2nd level refiner, 1st level array master, 2nd level alchemist. Host exchange points, 40. Chu Wei listened quietly, and it can be seen that this time Chu Wei has obtained another 70 million spiritual energy points. Super God system becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shuxiang ZK. Chapter 255. In addition to the spiritual energy value, Chu Wei also found that the most obtained in this 5th floor is the wisdom attribute point, and now there are 120 points. 100 points can upgrade to a 1st level weapon refiner or a 1st level medicine refiner. Of course, a 1st level array master is also okay. Chu Wei is already planning how to use these more than 100 points of wisdom attributes. Back to the real world. Chu Wei can feel that the spiritual energy in his body is becoming more and more abundant, and he vaguely has a feeling that he is about to reach a bottleneck. Chu Wei knows that his spiritual energy has advanced to the awakened realm. But Chu Wei wants to be faster. Chu Wei remembered that the dragon named Yezhou told him that he could only take the real dragon blood it gave him when he reached the awakened realm. Chu Wei really wanted to know what kind of changes would happen to his physique after taking the real dragon blood. But now he still needs more than 780 million spiritual energy points to advance. At this moment, Chu Wei's mobile phone rang. It was a notification sound of an app. Chu Wei took a look. This is a trading app in the Imperial Capital Academy. Sumomo helped Chu Wei download it when he was having dinner with Sumomo today. It is said that on this platform, students can freely exchange the resources they need. Chu Wei did not pay much attention to it when he downloaded the app, but a notification sound from the app just now made Chu Wei pay attention to it. I sell a second-level spiritual energy pill, the price is negotiable. I purchase a second-level weapon, preferably a sword, the price is 1 million United States currency. Looking at the messages on the trading app, Chu Wei's eyes suddenly lit up. Can't he rely on pills to advance? Chu Wei was excited. You know, when he was on the 4th floor of the extreme 9-layer pagoda, Chu Wei ate countless 3rd-level giant spirit pills to directly upgrade from the Awakener level 2 to the 9th level. And now he just has 100 wisdom points which can upgrade to a 3rd-level alchemist, so upgrading is not just a matter of practicing pills, right? If Chu Wei were to upgrade to a 3rd-level alchemist now, he could definitely refine a 3rd-level giant spirit pill with a spiritual energy value of 5 million. However, the price of medicinal materials for refining a 3rd-level giant spirit pill must be very high. After all, 3rd-level medicinal materials are needed to refine a giant spirit pill. Although Chu Wei had 6 million United States dollars on him, he might not be able to buy many finished 3rd-level giant spirit pills if he used them to buy finished products. After all, 3rd-level giant spirit pills were only available to children from wealthy families. When Chu Wei thought of this, he suddenly felt that the 3rd-level giant spirit pills he had eaten in the extreme tower not long ago were like eating a mountain of gold. If I use it to buy medicinal materials to refine it myself, I can buy dozens of 3rd-level pills. But even if there are 40 3rd-level giant spirit pills, there are only 200 million spiritual energy points, which is still more than 500 million away from the Awakener realm. But no matter what, even if there are only more than 200 million, it can greatly shorten the time for promotion by a few days. Thinking of this, Chu Wei immediately went to the exchange of the school. In fact, the trading app only publishes information. Generally, people go to the exchange in person for transactions, which is faster. Halfway through, Chu Wei thought of another way, which is the old routine, using his own refining and alchemy skills to make money, and then buy medicinal materials and make pills. Soon, Chu Wei came to the trading field. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God system becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shuxiang ZK. Chapter 256. The format and layout of the trading field of the Imperial Capital Academy are not much different from the Tang Family Chamber of Commerce that Chu Wei had visited before. There are counters selling all kinds of things. However, it is worth mentioning that many students from the academy buy and sell things here. I heard that some people earn millions of Liangguo coins a month. Buy clothes and various resources for many girls. This kind of male students who can make money are also the favorites of many girls. Of course, boys with strong strength are the most admired and popular among girls. How much are tiger tail grass and figs? There are two things in a counter in front of Chu Wei. One of them is like grass, but there are many yellow and black circles, which looks a bit like a tiger's tail. This grass is not simple. It is a 3rd-level medicinal herb, tiger tail grass. Tiger tail grass is not only because it looks a bit like a tiger's tail, but more importantly, its medicinal effect is very strong, just like a tiger. The pills refined with it are often very powerful. Chu Wei wants to use it to refine the 3rd-level giant spirit pill. Another thing, figs. Figs are a fruit like gold, golden, and rich in spiritual energy. It is the main ingredient of the giant spirit pill. These two things are not cheap. The male teller who was selling things was not very enthusiastic, but he did not look down on Chu Wei, but many new students entered the trading field as if they had entered a big city. They asked about everything, but they just didn't buy. Moreover, the two things Chu Wei asked about just now were worth more than 200,000 United States dollars. On the other hand, these two things were used to refine third-level pills. Could such a freshman be a third-level alchemist? So, he almost instinctively thought that Chu Wei was just asking out of curiosity. Chu Wei glanced at the male teller casually, took out his mobile phone, and directly displayed his 6 million United States dollars balance. "I can afford it," Chu Wei said lightly. The male teller looked at the balance and immediately put on a smiling face, saying coquettishly, "I'll pack it up for you." "Wait a minute." The male teller was stunned. Did he offend this rich young man just now and he didn't want it? The male teller regretted his frivolousness just now. "I want to ask, how many tiger tail grass and figs do you have here?" "There are 6 tiger tail grass and 5 figs," the male teller answered respectfully, without a trace of frivolous expression on his face. Chu Wei frowned slightly. "No more." Chu Wei was planning to buy dozens of tiger tail grass and figs to refine dozens of giant spirit pills. "There are indeed no more here. To be honest, these third-level medicinal materials are rarely used by students like you. We provide them to the tutors of the academy." The male teller said the truth. After all, there are only a few students of Chu Wei's age who use third-level medicinal materials in the entire academy. The last time he sold third-level medicinal materials was a long time ago, when the legendary Big Devil student bought them. However, although I don't have any here, we have a lot in our Pudong Chamber of Commerce. If you need them, I can help you contact them at any time. Pudong Chamber of Commerce, one of the 2 major chambers of commerce in Tianshu City, can also be said to be one of the 2 major chambers of commerce in the entire Donglian country. Their chamber of commerce is very powerful, and almost every larger town has their branch. But the most talked about is the CEO of their chamber of commerce, a famous beauty. This counter in the Swifu trading field belongs to the Pudong Chamber of Commerce. Super God system becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 257. "I want 30 copies, but I only give 5 million United States currency," Chu Wei said. Originally, Chu Wei thought that he could buy 40 copies of the medicinal materials for the giant spirit pill with 6 million United States currency, but these third-level medicinal materials were more expensive than he thought. And if the price quoted by the teller just now is 200,000 United States currency, Chu Wei can't buy 30 copies at all with 5 million. Sure enough, the male teller looked embarrassed. "This 5 million can't buy 30 copies. Forget it." Chu Wei turned around and was about to leave. He was not a fool. Everyone knew that the general merchants would quote higher prices. Those who don't bargain are fools. He bought so much at a time, and he didn't believe that the merchants would not sell. Wait, the male teller chased out and said, "Sell, sell, sell. I will contact you right away." The male teller was really afraid that Chu Wei would leave. After all, these rich young masters are usually very arrogant. 5 million for 30 copies. Although I made less money, I still made some money. Chu Wei stopped walking. After all, he didn't really want to leave. Soon, the male teller called and asked Chu Wei to wait for a while. The medicinal materials would be delivered from the Pudong Chamber of Commerce soon. Then Chu Wei used the remaining 1 million United States dollars to buy some other medicinal materials needed to refine the giant spirit pill. The other medicinal materials are auxiliary, so the price is not high. 1 million is enough. Then, Chu Wei strolled in the trading field while waiting for the medicinal materials. The trading field of the school not only has chambers of commerce and merchants, but also many students selling things by themselves. For example, there is a senior student selling weapons in front of Chu Wei. This senior student is probably a first-level weapon refiner. He has refined many weapons by himself and sells them in the counter. However, Chu Wei only took a simple look, and the weapon refining skills of this senior student can only be regarded as barely passable. The first-level weapon he refined was not forged with enough density, so the hardness of this weapon would be greatly reduced. If Chu Wei were to refine it, Chu Wei would be sure to double the density of the weapon. If Chu Wei and the senior both refined an identical long sword, then Chu Wei's long sword could easily cut off the other's long sword. But even if the senior's weapon refining skills were not very good, there were still many freshmen who had not yet reached the realm of superpowers who bought weapons from him. Chu Wei smiled and shook his head. With his skills, he could open a counter. If he refined weapons and sold them, wouldn't he sweep the weapon refining market in this area? Then Chu Wei looked at other places. There were really many things in the entire trading field, including jade pendants, pets, raw stones, and all kinds of weird and beautiful things. Hey, Chu Wei, what a coincidence. Just as Chu Wei was walking around, a familiar and pleasant voice came from behind Chu Wei. Chu Wei turned around and saw Su Momo looking at him with a smile on his face, and his two cousins, Su Ming and Su Peng, were beside him. Su Peng was looking at Chu Wei with disdain, and although Su Ming's expression was not so obvious, there was also contempt in his eyes. Heh, Chu Wei sneered in his heart, and naturally would not give these two cousins any good face. Yeah, what a coincidence. But Chu Wei smiled at Su Momo. Momo, don't say hello to these unimportant people in the future. We are here today to buy the second-level elixir gathering spirit pill. Don't waste time on such people, Su Peng interrupted sarcastically. Super God system becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 258. Chu Wei and I are good friends. If you say that again, I will be unhappy. Su Momo was obviously unhappy. He came to Chu Wei and said, Chu Wei, don't take it to heart. My cousin is just talking nonsense. Are you here to buy pills too? Chu Wei glanced at Su Peng indifferently. This Su Peng was already looking for trouble. Well, I guess so. Then let's go buy it together. My cousin knows a shop. I heard that the pills are pretty good. Su Momo didn't care whether Chu Wei agreed or not, and took Chu Wei away. Su Peng looked at the two people who seemed to be somewhat intimate, and his anger rose suddenly. Chu Wei, I will make you pay sooner or later. Several people came to a counter selling pills. Boss, give me 5 soul-gathering pills, Su Peng shouted loudly and majestically. You know, buying 5 soul-gathering pills at one time can be considered a big deal for students. After all, a second-level soul-gathering pill costs 400,000 United States dollars. The boss was a man with a big belly. He smiled and said, I'll get it for you right away. After a while, the soul-gathering pill was wrapped up. Chu Wei, aren't you here to buy pills? Why not? A soul-gathering pill is only 400,000. Su Peng looked at Chu Wei proudly. In fact, not all students in the Imperial Capital Academy are rich. On the contrary, most of the students in the Imperial Capital Academy have good potential but are not from a very good family. This kind of students usually bury their heads in hard work and rarely buy pills to practice like Su Peng. And this Chu Wei, I haven't heard of any noble background. He is from a small place and probably can't afford the pill. Yes, this pill is very good for practice, Su Momo also spoke. Chu Wei shook his head, it's useless to me. Haha, Su Peng laughed immediately. Some people actually said that the second-level soul-gathering pill is useless for his cultivation. Chu Wei, are you making me laugh? Su Ming on the side also laughed disdainfully. This Chu Wei's words were really incoherent. Everyone knew that the second-level soul-gathering pill had a very good effect on people in the realm of superpowers. A second-level soul-gathering pill was equivalent to 2 months of hard practice. Even the fat boss of the counter shook his head. Although he didn't show obvious disdain, he also felt that Chu Wei was too pretentious. Children nowadays are impetuous. If they can't afford it, they say it's useless. Chu Wei, in fact, the second-level soul-gathering pill is still very good. How about this? I'll give it to you, you will know after you try it. Sumomo handed the pill that belonged to him to Chu Wei. Chu Wei was slightly stunned. Sumomo obviously gave the pill to him because he was afraid of embarrassing himself. It seems that everyone thinks that he can't afford this second-level soul-gathering pill. Chu Wei shook his head helplessly. This thing is really useless to me. Chu Wei, it's really better to meet you in person than to hear about you. Among all the freshmen, almost all students with some strength say that you like to pretend. Today I have seen that you are really good at pretending. If you can't afford it, then don't afford it. If you can't afford it, I, Supeng, will generously give you one. Chu Wei sneered, and then he shook his phone, and a 2-meter-long super-large sniper rifle appeared in Chu Wei's hand. He put the sniper rifle on the counter. Boss, give me a spirit-gathering pill. Chu Wei really has no money on him now, but who doesn't have some property? Besides, this second-level weapon sniper rifle is really useless to Chu Wei. The fat boss was startled, looked at the 2-meter-long sniper rifle, and then said with a slightly changed expression, "Is this a second-level superior weapon, a super-large sniper rifle?" "Yes." The boss immediately said respectfully, "This sniper rifle is probably at least 2.5 million United States dollars. I'm asking you for 2.1 million, or I'll give you 10 more soul-gathering pills." Although the sniper rifle and soul-gathering pill are both second-level, the pill is a disposable consumable after all, so the price is far lower than that of the weapon. And weapons are easy to sell, so the boss directly converted it into United States dollars. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Xu Xiangzike. Chapter 259. No need, just one will be fine, and you don't need any change. The boss was stunned for a moment, and then he immediately took out a spirit-gathering pill and handed it to Chu Wei with both hands bent in a very respectful manner. This young master is really rich. The reward is 2.1 million. It is simply blind to say that he cannot afford it. Chu Wei took the spirit-gathering pill, then squeezed it in his hand, turning it into a piece of powder. When the powder fell to the ground with Chu Wei's palm, Chu Wei said lightly, "This is garbage." Su Peng and Su Ming were stunned on the spot, and they were petrified. The boss was also stunned. Then the boss was the first to react and said to himself, "He is indeed a rich man. You don't need change for more than 2 million yuan, and the pills worth 400,000 yuan are rubbish." Chu Wei's image has undergone a U-turn of more than 1,000 degrees in the boss's mind. When Su Peng reacted, his face was blood red. This Chu Wei is slapping him in the face with money. Chu Wei snorted coldly. Chu Wei didn't particularly care about more than 2 million. As long as the medicinal materials arrived, Chu Wei could refine the third-level giant spirit pill and resell it. 30 spirit-gathering pills could definitely be sold for 30 million. About. This is where a third-level alchemist makes money. He buys raw materials, practices them and then sells them, and the resale value is 5 times. Chu Wei felt that he didn't need to have a concept of money, because with Chu Wei's ability in alchemy and weapon refining, money was everywhere. Sumomo on the side was also stunned. It seemed that every time he saw Chu Wei, this guy could always do something unexpected. It's great to be rich. I, Su Peng, just don't like you. What's the matter? Su Peng became angry. At this moment, Su Momo grabbed Su Peng and walked out, turning back to Chu Wei and saying, "I'm sorry, Chu Wei." Su Mo was really afraid that her cousin and Chu Wei would fight. Chu Wei smiled slightly, but when he looked at Su Peng, Chu Wei's eyes were filled with disdain and coldness. "Su Peng, Chu Wei, gave you a chance and warned you, but you don't know how to cherish it." Soon afterwards, Pudong Chamber of Commerce delivered medicinal materials to Chu Wei, and at the same time made Chu Wei a VIP member. Chu Wei is welcome to Pudong Chamber of Commerce at any time. Chu Wei nodded and walked out of the exchange. However, Chu Wei did not go back to his dormitory, but headed towards Su Peng's self-funded dormitory. Downstairs in Su Peng's self-funded dormitory, Su Momo had just left. Su Peng and Su Ming were walking in the garden downstairs depressedly. "What the hell, this guy named Chu Wei, Su Peng, will break his waist sooner or later. This Chu Wei is really too arrogant. Why is he pretending to be rich in front of us?" Su Ming also looked unhappy. "Is it a big deal to pretend to be his sister and have a little money? This world depends on who is more capable." "Yes, I think so too," a faint voice sounded from behind Su Ming and the other two. The two of them were startled and immediately turned their heads, only to see Chu Wei's eyes hung looking at them indifferently during their conversation and saying, "Su Peng, I warned you not to do anything in front of me in the future, but you didn't listen. I'm going to slap your face and teach you how to behave." Su Peng was furious, and regardless of how Chu Wei suddenly appeared behind the two of them just now, he immediately shouted, "I'll do it. You're Chu Wei, if you hadn't held me silently in the trading place just now, I would have beaten you earlier, got it? Come on, don't you want to teach me how to behave? My face is right here." Su Peng's anger rose. Two powers, one red and one yellow, lit up on his body. At the same time, his body jumped up and pounced on Chu Wei like a tiger. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 260. Su Peng is a level 9 supernatural person. When he started, a strong wind blew around him, shaking the trees in the garden next to him. It must be said that Su Peng's strength is still good. Not to mention ordinary freshmen, even if they are also level 9 supernatural people, if they don't have any means, they are probably not Su Peng's opponent. This is also the reason why Su Peng is confident. However, he is facing Chu Wei, a person who can fight across an entire realm. Su Peng's speed may be very fast in the eyes of ordinary freshmen, but it is so slow in the eyes of Chu Wei. Chu Wei has 15 points of spiritual attributes and can clearly feel any attack within 15 meters. Especially when it is closer, this feeling is clearer. Chu Wei casually stretched out a hand. Su Peng, who pounced like a tiger, was hit on the cheek and fell in front of Chu Wei. Chu Wei didn't even look at it, raised his leg and stomped on Su Peng's body. Su Peng's move was like a tiger, but he never expected that he would be slapped by Chu Wei in one move. Su Ming on the side was shocked, let go of Su Peng. Su Ming punched Chu Wei, and there was a strong wind around Su Ming's fist, and his fist was twice as big as usual. Obviously, this is a muscle-enhancing martial art. This is a little similar to Chu Wei's arm of strength. And he also has the ability of strong wind. Before the fist attack, the strong wind blew Chu Wei's clothes close to his body. Chu Wei punched out, and there was also strong wind gathering on his fist. The two fists with the same wind ability collided with each other, and instantly the strong wind broke out like a typhoon at the place where the two fists collided. How is it possible? Su Ming's eyes widened. He knew the power in his fist best. His fist was twice as strong as usual after the skill was enhanced. And he was born with great strength, so in a single round of strength, few people of the same level could directly take his punch head on. What shocked him even more was that Chu Wei did not use any martial arts at all, but just used the same wind ability. In other words, Chu Wei was really fighting with his physical strength and his enhanced skills. How could he not be surprised? If a person is so strong with physical strength alone, what will happen if he uses enhanced martial arts? I've encountered a tough point. Su Ming's forehead was covered with cold sweat almost instantly. He is not stupid, he just didn't expect a freshman to be so strong. You are also looking for a fight, Chu Wei said coldly. At the same time, in Su Ming's surprised eyes, Chu Wei grabbed his arm, and the huge force made him unable to resist at all, and he was directly pulled to the ground by Chu Wei. He fell in a row with Su Ming. Chu Wei's feet lit up with two superpowers, Red Lightning and Wild Wind, and then kicked the two people with his big feet. After all, Su Ming and Su Peng are both people with superpowers at the 9th level, and they are many times stronger than Baiyu. If they don't use two superpowers to suppress them, Chu Wei may not be able to suppress the two people with just the power of the physical limit. Su Ming, who was beaten, was more and more surprised. They also tried their best to resist, but although Chu Wei's kick looked very savage, his speed was too fast. Every time they resisted, they could not form an effective way and were broken by the opponent. Moreover, Su Ming could feel that Chu Wei had not used a martial art so far, but only used two supernatural powers, which was even more terrifying. Because the opponent suddenly had an unfathomable feeling. Don't know what the opponent's martial arts are? It's more terrifying if you don't know.